Toby Harnden is an Anglo-American journalist and author. He has been Washington bureau chief of the Sunday Times since January 2013. He previously spent 17 years at the Telegraph based in London, Belfast, Washington, Jerusalem and Baghdad, finishing as U.S. editor from 2006 to 2011, and was also U.S. executive editor of Mail Online and U.S. editor of the Daily Mail for a year in 2012. He is the author of 2 books, Bandit Country, The Ira and Amp, South Armagh and Dead Men Risen, The Welsh Guards and the Defining Story of Britain's War in Afghanistan. Dead Men Risen won the 2012 Orwell Prize for Books. He was reporter and presenter of the BBC Panorama special programme Broken by Battle about suicide and PTSD among British soldiers, broadcast on July 15, 2013. Background: born at Boland's maternity home in Portsmouth, Harnden grew up in Portsmouth, Harefield Marple and Rusholme, Manchester. He attended Harrytown Comprehensive School in Bredbury, Cheshire and St Bede's College, Manchester. He entered Britannia Royal Naval College, Dartmouth in January 1985 and passed out the following August. He was awarded a First in Modern History from Corpus Christi College, Oxford in July 1988. At Oxford, Harnden was Junior Common Room President of Corpus Christi in 1987, succeeding David Miliband. Before becoming a journalist, Harnden was an officer in the Royal Navy, retiring in the rank of lieutenant in 1994 after service ashore and at sea in the assault ships HMS Fearless and HMS Intrepid, the minesweeper HMS Itchen, the destroyers HMS Manchester and HMS Edinburgh and the frigate HMS Cornwall. During his training he was an exchange officer with the Royal Norwegian Navy, helping to transport reindeer on troop landing craft. His final naval appointment was in the Ministry of Defence as Flag Lieutenant to the 2nd Sea Lord. In August 2009 he became an American citizen. He is divorced and is the father of Tessa Harnden and Miles Harnden. Books: Harnden has written 2 non-fiction books, Bandit Country, The Ira and Amp, South Armagh and Dead Men Risen, The Welsh Guards and the Defining Story of Britain's War in Afghanistan. Bandit Country, The Ira and Amp, South Armagh, published by Hodder and Amp, Stoughton in November 1999, was critically acclaimed and sold more than 100,000 copies. It led to the formation of the Smithwick Tribunal, which Harnden declined to attend to give evidence in February 2012. Dead Men Risen was published by Quercus Books in March 2011. Publication was delayed after the Ministry of Defence objected to certain passages on security grounds. The book had already been cleared for publication by the MOD after a 4-month review process that Harnden had agreed to as part of a contract that provided him with access to the Welsh Guards. Following a legal dispute between the MOD and Quercus, the MOD agreed to purchase all 24,000 copies of the first print run of the book, at a cost to the UK taxpayer of £151,450, and oversee the pulping. It was well reviewed and reached number 4 on the Sunday Times bestseller list. In May 2012 it won the Orwell Prize for Books. Journalism career. Harnden began his career in journalism as a theatre reviewer at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and a writer of obituaries. He began at the Daily Telegraph in 1994 as a home news reporter. He was posted to Belfast as the newspaper's Ireland correspondent in March 1996, shortly after the IRA's first ceasefire had ended. He subsequently covered the IRA's second ceasefire, the Good Friday Agreement and the Omagh bombing of 1998, as well as numerous shootings, explosions, riots and negotiations. From 1999 to 2003, Harnden was Washington bureau chief of the Daily Telegraph. He reported from Washington during the 9/11 terrorist attacks of 2001. He became Middle East correspondent of the Daily Telegraph in October 2003 and was based in Jerusalem and then Baghdad. Harnden spent much of 2004 and 2005 covering the war in Iraq. He was a unilateral reporter during the siege of Najaf in August 2004 and 3 months later was embedded with the U.S. Army's Task Force 222 during the Battle of Fallujah. Harnden joined the Sunday Telegraph in January 2005 and was based in London as the newspaper's chief foreign correspondent. He reported from Iraq, Afghanistan, Israel, the occupied Palestinian territories, Lebanon, Bahrain, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Austria, Italy, Estonia, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, the United States and Thailand. In May 2005, Harnden was imprisoned in Zimbabwe for 14 days after being arrested at a rural polling station on the day of the country's parliamentary elections, and deported following acquittal on charges of illegally entering the country and practicing journalism without accreditation. Harnden returned to Washington, D.C. in May 2006 as a correspondent for the Sunday Telegraph. In October 2006 became U.S. editor of the Daily Telegraph. He covered the 2008 primaries and general election. From 2009 to 2011, he wrote a weekly column for the Sunday Telegraph entitled Toby Harnden's American Way. Harnden was shortlisted for the UK Press Gazette for Digital Journalist of the Year 2008. In 2011, he was ranked at 27 in a list of top 50 most influential media uses of Twitter in the UK. He left the Telegraph at the end of 2011 to join the Mail. In October 2012, it was announced that he would be joining the Sunday Times as Washington bureau chief in January 2013. As well as the Mail and Telegraph titles, Harnden has had work published in the Leith Leader, The Scotsman, Western Morning News, The Independent, The Guardian, The Wall Street Journal, The Sun, The Spectator, The Evening Standard, The Literary Review, East End Live, The Sunday Business Post and Condé Nast Traveller. A regular broadcaster, he has appeared on CNN, Fox, CNBC, Al Jazeera and the BBC. Works: Bandit Country, The Ara and South Armagh, Hodder and Amp, Stoughton, London, 1999. ISBN 0-347-1736-X. Dead Men Risen.